screen. Just so everyone knows, today's just about the badges function in the OnCell builder specifically. We did do the same a call in our 11 o'clock call this morning. We did the same. So all of this will be recorded, put on our YouTube for anyone who wants to reference, or also reference the slides as well. Just so everyone knows, that's where you'll be able to find that. And then also, of course, the CSMs will send everything out. So week 6 of Online with OnCell. So in terms of badges, the reason that we want to talk about badges today is because we have gotten a lot of people who are having trouble adding them a little bit, or they want to add them. This is one of the features we've been discussing a lot in terms of gamification. We spoke about the badges function last week with Christina Lake and Fairleigh Jackson with the Old Governor's Mansion, Louisiana. So like they had said, they had been adding badges for just that gamification aspect, but also kind of as a fun historical nuance of Huey P. Long, the governor who actually built the mansion, bringing them kind of through the museum. So you've been hearing us say a lot about interaction and engagement, and this is one of those things where we can't say it enough, adding badges mixed in with quizzes, that gamification, scavenger hunts, incentives, prizes on site for when tourism picks up, stuff's able to finally reopen. That's another big one. So I'm going to just go through some examples. I've mentioned these examples a lot over the course of the past 6 weeks, so I'm not going to dwell on them a little bit too much because I also want Josh to have time to really show you guys exactly how to implement this stuff. And with, it's going to be general basically, but there's a lot of little nuances when it comes to badges and little things that you can do with them. So discouraged if you watch this and you're like, oh God, I still don't really know how to add them. I need help. That's totally fine. Definitely reach out to your client managers and set up a one-on-one call. We have no problem walking people through these, all the cool things you can do with them and how to best implement them, especially in terms of your organization. Every organization is different. So we cannot stress enough, please reach out to us and let us know kind of what you're thinking, what you're looking to build, and we have no problem just going over it with you and kind of talk about best practices that we've seen. So I will start with El Yunque National Forest. I've spoken about this one in terms of their quiz function, but I haven't really discussed it really in terms of their badges function. So they do have a learning center in the app. It's great for children, great for certain ages. You can it talks about animals that they might see. It also talks about, things in the forest in terms of trails, any types of history. So this is a really nice one. These badges, when you earn them, there's no really incentive at the end, but it is just kind of like a junior ranger's quest essentially, which you'll also see with Mount Rushmore. So the great thing about this is it has that gamification, but it is a real learning experience as well. So it is something that kids can do over and over and kind of retake these quizzes. Some of them are a little bit difficult, some of these questions. So it definitely is something that keeps people coming back to redo. So this is kind of how they do their badge function. Once you complete challenges, you answer a certain amount of questions, these badges pop up and you can earn all of them if you kind of make your way through the quiz. So this is a really fun way to take an app and have just like that small learning center for kids kind of off to the side. As well. So it kind of has two parts to the app, which I really like. And it's also great during this time, obviously, because we have people remote learning, but we also have people who can still, some certain things are still open, so there is still some on-site learning, but this can be used mainly off-site as well. So this is a good one to show you. So Calico Rock, this is a cool one because like I had mentioned, prizes, incentives, once you make your way through the app and you earn a certain amount of badges, just kind of looking at this information and making your way through the virtual museum tour, you actually earn the badges, and once you do, you can kind of turn those in for a free scoop of ice cream. So this is another great way in terms of partnerships with your community. Maybe partnering up with stores or them like as a dinner or a lunch for a certain amount of people. This is just a really fun way to kind of push people to get through the app and see the information, but also give them that little bit of, they make their way through the virtual museum tour, they learn, and at the same time, they then get that ice cream at the end. So it is a really cool way of kind of partnering up with other organizations in your community and showing what you can do with these badges. So again, I mentioned the old governor's mansion last week, and again, feel free to go on our YouTube and just rewatch that. It was a lot of information, really good information. Like we had mentioned before, they are charging admission. So they had gamified this experience. They had added tests, they had added quizzes, they had added badges, and they also do this as a learning experience for field trips that have been canceled. And they also work with schools in their area as well. Christina had mentioned that a little bit. So they actually, certain students can actually turn this in for credit on certain assignments out in school. So the great thing about these badges is, like I mentioned, those historical nuances. You have Huey P. Long here, who was the governor who had actually built the mansion. He kind of guides you through. And the great thing about this is you're not earning these badges specifically for something, but they use the badges in terms of having someone walk you through. So when you get to a page, this pops up and it's like, hey, can you spot the secret staircase? And it kind of makes people read a little bit more and really draws in their attention. So this is another cool way of using badges. You know, maybe you aren't earning something, but maybe you can use it as kind of an added part to your tour. So Find Your Independence. This one is actually modeled after the Oregon Trail game. So this one specifically, the badges are earned, but the badges are earned as supplies. So as you kind of make your way through the game, which is just one portion of the app, you actually earn the supplies along the way. This is a great learning experience. You can play this game over and over. I can't stress enough about the edutainment factors in terms of kids at home learning right now. I stress this to everyone. This is a great learning experience, especially for on-site and remote. This is something that can especially be used remote because this game is something that has a lot of information. So you don't really need to be on site to see everything in order to learn. All the information is really in the app as well as on site. So this is a really good one in terms of weaving these badges into a gamified experience, and maybe not earning them specifically to win a prize or incentive, but you're actually playing a game with them. So the last one I'm going to mention is the Junior Ranger Quest, which we have with Mount Rushmore. This one is kind of similar to Independence, where you're earning badges going through quizzes. But this one is, again, an on-site incentive experience. So you can do this off-site. It's great off-site, but you actually can turn in these badges for an actual Junior Ranger badge, which kids can do at the visitor center when they visit. So that's another thing, like I mentioned, those on-site incentives. Someone can do this at home. Those badges stay in your phone. Once you go back on site, you can turn that in. Or if you can do it as an on-site experience as well, where it kind of guides you through the entire history. The quizzes are a little bit difficult, so it's nice because you get it wrong, but you can always go back and get it right, and then you earn these badges. So it's kind of trial and error in terms of earning these and just making sure that you learn along the way. And again, like I mentioned, you get to the end, you earn these badges, and maybe you go back to the visitor center and you kind of pick up your badge. So this is a fun one, especially for kids of certain ages. Same with the Find Your Independence app. Really, really good learning experiences. But these can also, badges, we also stress them for museums, libraries, anything in terms of seeing if people can find things. And maybe you have a question like, that they would have to be on site to see something, what color is this? And if they get it right, then they earn a badge, which means they would have had to have seen that. So it's just making sure that people are also walking through and actually learning things if this is for an on-site experience. So feel free to put any questions in the chat and the Q&A function as well. Josh is going to take over for the demonstration. Like I said, badges can be very, very, very complicated depending on what you want to do with them, or they can be really, really, really simple. So if you're thinking of a little bit more of a complicated experience, maybe something like Old Governor's Mansion or Find Your Independence, definitely contact us. If you feel like you didn't get full information today, that's not a problem. We rewatch, and then of course you can always contact a client manager today or tomorrow, and we can set up a one-on-one call. That's not a problem as well. All right, so I'm going to kick it over to you, Josh, unless we have some questions.
And we do actually have one question to start out with, which is, are badges earned by answering a quiz question or getting to a location, or a combination of both? And it's actually, which this is kind of what we'll dive pretty deep into, is it can be either. So badges are essentially tied to a page, and then the kind of creative way of using them comes down to how you get your users and visitors to that page, whether it's by answering quiz questions that take them from, page to page to page and eventually landing on that badge, or if it's a location alert that they trigger that page by, reaching that location. So I will share my screen here, and go into the builder, and then we can show kind of both ways. So is everybody able to see my screen here?
Yep, it's all good.
Oh, okay, cool. So we've got the OnCell builder here, and for this kind of walkthrough, I've got a project with a bunch of questions already set up, and there are some badges set up. So I'll show you kind of what that looks like, and then we'll actually go through setting some up to see kind of how that works. So setting up badges is done through project settings and then badges. And then, so we've got our default group here. We do have the ability to add multiple groups. So this could be used, and we'll do that here. So you could have a group that is for a scavenger hunt or quiz. You could have, a different group that is location based. So that could be, walking tours, or, whatever it may be that's location based. There's an app here in upstate New York that uses these badges at the end. I think we've actually talked about this app before, but uses these badges at the end of hiking trails. So, they have some informational pages about the trail itself, and, tells you how to earn the badge. And then when you actually reach the end of the trail, a location alert is triggered, and it will earn you that badge. So first we will set up a badge that would be part of a scavenger hunt. So if we click new badge here, it'll come up with some basic information like the name. So we'll just call it Scavenger Hunt Badge 1. And then we'll move it to the group after we have finished it. So you get the option here to upload an image. And this image could be, it could be a fun graphic. It could just be, an image of an object that you already have as part of your collection. Could be any number of things depending on, your resources and ability to create those graphics. And then you're just assigning it to a page. So for this, any page that you already have created. So we'll scroll through here and we'll find this found it page. So this would kind of be that, correct answer page. Some options here. This badges pages. So this is going to be how it shows to the visitor both before and after they've earned it. So this visibility on badges page gives you the option to either make it visible or hidden. And I'll just quickly show. So there's Independence, Missouri here. They have their badges through a game. These are all the answers to or the questions they have for this game. And then they set theirs up to be kind of like an Oregon Trail inspired game. So they have these supplies, which are actually their badges. And so here we see the badges page. As you can see, I've earned 2 of these 9. So these grayed out ones, that is what's being marked as visible, meaning I can see it on this page before actually earning it. And then after it's earned, it will show up in color. The unearned pop-up here, so this is the help text. So if it is part of a quiz, you might want to include some helpful information as to, where they can start the process of earning it, or just kind of a hint to help them out along the way. So we could, just say, to finish the scavenger hunt. And these could be, you could have a badge per question, or have it just set up so you earn the badge after finishing all of it. The start page is a link that will be provided to take them directly to whatever page might be most helpful for them. So whether it's, the start of the scavenger hunt, or, a clue along the way. So for this, we'll just start at the beginning. We'll just call it start. And then the badge pop-ups earned. This is the message they're going to see on the badge after they've earned it. So probably something like, congratulations. And then just a body message for them. And this rewards page gives you the option to send them somewhere after finding this. So if you leave it blank, they'll earn the badge, and they can just exit out of that badge, and it'll take them to the page that they were already on, or you can direct them somewhere afterwards, maybe, a badges page that'll show all of the badges.
There's one question, Josh. Are badges 2 separate graphics, or do the unearned have a filter that alters the same image?
It is just one graphic, and the gray, it'll just gray out the badge. So whatever, these before they were earned, they just showed up gray, similar to this. So it's not necessarily a different graphic, just a filter over top of it. So we've added that badge there. We'll do a test publish to see what we've just created. And feel free to send any questions through as this is publishing. And so we've got the test project here that we just set this badge up on. This badges page here, the default badge page is something that is already set up as a default page in the builder. And so you just have to create a link to it. And then we can see here the scavenger hunt badge 1 that we just created shows up just grayed out with that graphic. If we click on it, we'll see the help text that we put in and the start page. So clicking the start page will take us directly to it here. And we put it on the second quiz question. And so there it is. We've earned it. And then the pages to get to this badge are really just using, the widgets available. For this project, it was just a simple, previous, next button linking to these different clues. And then next we'll create a location-based badge, and we will also set up a second badge group. So I'll just quickly show, so this Wayne Trails here, this Hit the Trails Passport, they have a number of different badge groups that you can earn. So this could be, if you have multiple tours within your app, each could have, its own associated badge group. If you wanted to do kind of scavenger hunts that were, beginner level, intermediate, expert, each of those could have its own badge group. And then each of the groups would have, its own same sort of, visible grayed out badges that are all associated with the different groupings. So we'll go in and create that second badge. Or actually, we'll move that first badge into the scavenger hunt group. And then we've got our location-based group here. So we'll set up a new badge. It'll be the same setup. Choose an image. We'll set a page for it. We'll leave it visible. Put in some help text. And then the start page, again, you could put in a start page. You can leave it blank as well.
There's a question from Gloria, Josh. So if you have more than one tour on your app, can you earn badges in different tours and have a central page to track then across tours? So one central badge page for all of your different badge groups.
Not if you are using the groups. You could set badges up as just in a default group. So they would all be visible on a page, and then, but still, they would still just be earned kind of tour by tour, but they would all be visible at one time. So we'll set that one. We'll move it into the group here. We'll go back to our pages. And then to set this up with a location alert, we'll just need to go into project settings, location alerts, and then tie an alert to that page. So we set it to the area attractions page. We'll drop that point on the map. And so what's fun about doing it this way is as long as this page is not linked anywhere in the app, this badge will not be accessible unless you get to this location. So if it's kind of a location-based scavenger hunt, or you just want to, maybe it's you could use this kind of as a restaurant or some attraction in your town or city that maybe they're sponsoring the app, and if somebody actually is on site there, this badge will pop up. They could show that to somebody. Could be some sort of discount, monetary prize, or again, could just be for fun.
And we did get a question earlier today on, is there an easier way other than latitude and longitude, or to drop a pin? Can I type in the address and essentially set the location alert, which you can. We told someone today, if you create a map page, you would actually be able to just import from that map page specifically to these location alerts. So you don't even have to link that map into the actual app, so no one else would have access to it in terms of users. But it might be an easy way for you to just keep all of your location alerts in one place so that you can import them easily to that page.
That's right. So as long as those points are on a map, you can just import alerts from this location alerts page. So now that we have that all set up, we can create our badge group page. So we'll just click new page. We'll add a title. And then there's actually a widget that is used when grouping badges. So it's the first widget there, that's badges. When we add that, it'll give us the option to edit over here and select the group being used. So if you're okay with both groups showing up on the same page, you can just add 2 widgets to it. And both will show up there. Or like this Wayne Trails app, if you wanted them to be a little less cluttery, they've created a page here with 6 buttons, and then each of these buttons links to a page that just has one badge widget on it. And then we can switch our link down here from the default badges to the badge group.
And feel free to keep sending any questions through the chat or the Q&A as we go along, because I know that there's maybe some certain things that people have questions on as we go. There is a question, Josh, can one monitor how the badges are being used?
I guess, are you asking, are you able to see if the badges are being earned in the analytics pages? If that's the case, there isn't necessarily a way, like you're not able to see necessarily that a specific user earned 6 of these badges or anything like that. But since these are all tied to pages, and from the trends tab in the analytics page, you are able to see what pages are being accessed. So from that, we know that this location-based badge is being earned on the area attractions page, and this scavenger hunt badge is being earned by answering question number 2. So from there, you could see, that 10 people earned, or 10 people viewed that area attractions page, which would mean that 10 people earned that badge. And so then now that we've added that badge group, the link here is different, and we can see that we did, we earned the scavenger hunt badge, and we've not yet earned the location-based badge. And if we were not sitting on a desktop, but actually walking outside, we could hit that alert and trigger this badge to be earned. And are there any other questions that have come through? Stop sharing.
Not yet. And again, feel free if there was something you want to see more in depth on the scavenger hunts or kind of how to link them to quizzes. Feel free to contact client managers. That's no problem. One-on-one meetings can be set up anytime. One thing I did want to mention, feel free to keep sending through questions, by the way, while I'm talking. One thing I did want to mention is we probably will in the next few weeks do an online with OnCell specifically surrounding reopening. We did speak with Christina Lake and Fairleigh Jackson last week from Old Governor's Mansion, and they did mention reopening and kind of what that's going to look like for them. So when they do reopen, they are not going to have docent tours right away. They are going to honor social distancing. The only tour that they're going to have is the actual virtual one that I showed you in the app. So they're going to use the app as the sole. So really important moving forward in terms of social distancing, depending on where you live, just because it is going to continue to affect organizations. So that's something that they talked about, that, they've always been really a no-touch museum, but moving forward, you can remain interactive and kind of give people the same information that you did before, but at the same time, still really be engaging with users, even though you might not have those group tours available, or you might not have those docent tours happening all at the same time. So this is another thing that I think we will move forward in terms of how can you now start to implement this a little bit more on-site using quizzes and gamification for a more interactive museum or on-site experience as well. So we'll do a little bit something probably on reopening and how to digitize that collection and, pull up certain information on certain works kind of so that people can really kind of honor social distancing when everything turns back to normal, hopefully. So yeah, so I'm not seeing any other questions. Josh is actually putting in the chat right now the links to the app examples that I had showed. We are also, again, going to send out those slides and also put up the recording on our YouTube. So feel free to look at that if there's no questions. And then next week, we're still kind of deciding the topic for next week, but we always need people's opinions on what they want to learn about next. So we are sending out a survey with our reminders normally, and that survey, just make sure you let us know what you're looking toward. Also marketing wise, if you need help marketing anything, you can always contact me. We can always set up a one-on-one meeting, talk a little bit about marketing. Maybe your offsite experience, your onsite experience, it's not a problem. But yeah, so moving forward, just know you can contact us anytime in terms of, implementing more engagement, more quizzes, and kind of focusing on an offsite and onsite experience. Joining, we hope to see everyone next week, and feel free to contact us anytime, and keep your eyes out for that recording that's going to come through, and also those slides that we'll send out. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone.